we do it? Everton 2, West Ham United 3. We're 2 goals down. We've done it. 3 goals in 12 minutes. Unbelievable. Thank you for joining us on Talking Good Game as we're going to review what just happened at Goodison Park, or you could say we're going to chew over the win against the Toffees. I've got Gonzo and Ryan with me. Gonzo, what's happening?
Well, I tell you what, they've not been listening, have they? We certainly weren't respecting the point today, were we? Oh, I mean, I don't know. For those of you that are watching this, obviously you're watching a recording. It's 5 minutes after the final whistle, and we're just trying to come down off of cloud 9 to try and give you some analysis of what is an unprecedented result. A league table, Champions League. I mean, it's unbelievable. Payet, Sacco coming back. Where do we start, Gio? Where do we start?
Well, I'm going to start from the very start. We're coming down from Clyde now. We're going to have to talk about the game. Unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about Everton first because they had all the action for until 12 minutes from the end. It was all Everton. Ryan, what do you make of Lukaku's goal? What a striker he is.
I know, but he's such a pest, isn't he? Every single time. You know, if you're a gambling man, it's like the easiest bet you're ever going to make. Every time we play him, I say to my friends, oh yeah, put a bet on Lukaku scoring. Every time, but yeah, it's just us these teams to turn up against, in my opinion. Or is it just because I pay more attention when he's playing against us?
Well, people can let us know what they think when they're watching. Gonzo, was that just a bit harsh on Reece Oxford that he was just unfortunately up against a top striker in form?
Do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when Tompkins was very raw and he was just being brought into the team and he played up against Lukaku, who was another strong boy, and Lukaku out-muscled him. But do you know what? Tompkins has recovered and turned into a fine player, and I think it probably might well have been a little bit harsh, but it wasn't, as I was trying to say at half-time before I was rudely interrupted on the half-time show, I didn't think it was a case of Oxford being out-muscled. I just think he had a little bit of a head start on him, Lukaku, and Oxford never really caught up because he was perhaps just out of it a little bit positionally, and he finished like a £28 million striker. Make no mistake about it, they spent big bucks on that striker, and he is a very, very good player.
If you're wondering why we're not discussing certain parts of the first half, such as the penalty calls and stuff, we did a halftime live show. It's on our channel. Do subscribe while you're there. We do try and do halftime live shows as much as we can, including every single away game. So we're not going to go too much in the first half. But we are going to have to talk about the red card. Ryan, do you think Anthony Taylor got it right booking Morales for his dive?
Yeah, on. They're trying to get diving out of the game. The only way you can get it out of the game is for the players punished by doing it. So he absolutely deserved it. No question about it.
Do you think it was a dive, though, Ryan? Because Morales seemed to think he was wrong. So
no, it was a dive because, as the commentator said on my stream, he's about to run into Kiyate. So he's got nowhere to go. So he's probably just to try to play his last card, go down and see what happens. And thankfully, the referee got it spot on.
Gonzo, his second yellow, Creswell hoofs it up the pitch. He's well inside the West Ham half. What is Morales doing? Why is he making that tackle? How stupid was he?
I'll tell you why. And these aren't necessarily the opinions of Hammers Chat. It's my personal opinion. But they came out to systematically foul us. And they did. I mean, you know, Gio, we were there at the first game at Upton Park. They came out today. I counted from McCarthy 2 tackles with studs showing in the first half. A lot of their players were set out. I mean, strong words to say they were trying to injure us, but they were certainly trying to foul us. And I don't know what's happened to Martinez, who came over, was a breath of fresh air when he first started over here with the continental style. But as I said in the week, he's called English manageritis. And I tell you what, Tony Pulis would have been proud of those tactics today.
Well, it wasn't long into the second half, and then it was 2-0. Just one of those things, isn't it, Ryan? When Lennon takes the ball, he goes beyond our defence, but because of the way he's done it, no one can touch him, or it's a red card and a pen, and he's one-on-one. Smart little finish. But what was happening with us in the first hour of the game, Ryan?
Oh, I don't know. We just seemed all over the place. You know, we couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo in terms of attacking play. I mean, I don't know what's happened here because we've been 2 completely different teams in terms of when we've been 2-0 down and as we've gone to win 3-2.
Well, it was before we got back into the game. Anthony Taylor, what a hard game he was having. If it wasn't difficult enough, he had another massive call to make. Song brings down Besic on the edge area. There's no doubt about it being a foul, in my opinion. Penalty or not, good luck calling that one. Gonzo, do you think it was probably a free kick and justice has been served?
Well, I know it was because I had an extremely clear HD view of it. It was just outside. It wasn't even on the line, so it was a free kick. But you know me, mate, I'll go very easy on referees. I think it's so hard to call in the heat of the moment. I watched it slowed down and they paused it just before, so it's easy for us to see, isn't it? Adrian, who was fantastic again today, and kept us in the game for us to be able to make the comeback, of course, saved from it. And I think in terms of the referee, probably the thing that annoyed me most about the referee today was the fact that on 94 minutes he didn't blow the whistle. It was sort of 95 and a half minutes. Like, it just blow the whistle, man. And it was a tough game for him.
Well, he had to add on that time because of our goal and celebration and that, so that he was right to add that time on. Ryan, Gonzo said there his first goal was a £28 million striker goal. His penalty was a 28p striker penalty, wasn't it? How poor was that penalty?
Never mind 28p. You'll be asking for your money back. That's how bad it was. I mean, how many times does a strike when someone takes a penalty, they run up and they stop, and the penalty gets saved or missed? But you know, he's an Everton player. We're West Ham supporters, so let's not worry about that.
Well, it wasn't long, and then Antonio was rubbish today. I thought he was really poor, but I think he's just tired. He had an amazing game against Spurs. I think he's probably just a bit fatigued. Remember, Everton played Aston Villa midweek. It was probably a training session midweek for Everton. They probably didn't have to come out of second gear. I was worried that that's why we were losing. I was prepared to accept the defeat today because of the midweek fatigue, if you like, kicking in. Gonzo, Antonio's goal, was he poor until that point? But just how important is he now to West Ham United?
Well, I can't. He's come from sort of left of field, hasn't he? Really, but no, I'm not talking tactically, of course. I mean, he's sort of come from nowhere. I'll be honest. I don't pay much attention to the lower divisions. I hadn't ever heard of him before we were even linked with him. I had to Google him. We signed him. He didn't get much of a chance. For 7 million. It didn't even think Bilic fancied him, to be perfectly honest with you. And now he looks indispensable. Is there somebody that doesn't play centrally scoring as many goals as him in the league at the moment? I don't know. You could tell me, you're the stats man. But I doubt there are too many that are. Was he playing poorly? I think he was, but I also think he was hindered by the fact that he was playing wide and deep. And I think that we saw a point in the second half where he was liberated, a bit further forward, knocked it past the guy and turned it into a running race, which is what you want. The subsequent cross was quite poor, but then he started to get into the game more. My goodness, aerially, he is a really, he's a danger man.
Well, that spurred on West Ham to start whipping the crosses in endlessly. Sacco got on the end of one. Ryan, how good is it to see Sacco back and getting on the score sheet so quickly from his return as well?
It's fantastic, and I think that's been his fourth league goal this season, and in my opinion, I think he's deserved a lot more this year for all the work he's been putting in. But time will tell. He might have got a humongous scoring run now, so all's well ends well.
Well, we beat Tottenham midweek. Their manager started talking about long ball football at West Ham. He was saying we played long ball football. Well, yes, we do. And if you watch our third goal, there was a long ball to Andy Carroll. He heads it down. Sacco flicks it. It's the man. It's the god. Gonzo. What?
I don't know. It's so soon after the game. Was a family, we're sat in the lounge watching it. Everyone's gone mental. The kids are singing the Payet song. The dog's wondering what's going on. I mean, it's crazy. Just when you thought the tension and the match, it just needed somebody with a calm head, and I thought he was going to smash it. And actually, he just, the deftest of touch. He is a player of immense class, and you can just see how much it meant to him. On Sacco, and that was Ryan's question, but so delighted to see him back. It's fantastic. People that don't watch the show regularly won't know. I mean, I think he's a country mile above all our other strikers. I don't, it's only his injury problems that really hinder him. It's so good to see him back, and that was a really good flick. Andy Carroll gets the nod on, as you say, and it showed real sort of spatial awareness and vision from him to flick that into Payet. But we are so lucky to have this player, and we are in. Just goes to show we are in with a shout in every game.
Ryan, fantastic way, especially coming from 2 goals down. We should probably not have been 2 goals down in the first place, but it was what it was. We've won the game. Ryan, right now, is that our biggest win of the season?
Yes, it is. And before I go into Gonzo's question, what got me the most with that goal was the flick from Sacco, because that was so good. Because Sacco's running away from goal and he just puts his foot back and just flicks it into Payet's path, and then obviously Payet with his composure is just second to none, and that's where he slots it in. But yeah, because going to your question, the amount of times this season where we've been 2-0 down, 1-0 down, and we've got back into it and not been able to finish the game off with a win. We've done it quite a few times, but today we finally did it. And I think that's going to be a turning point in that season.
Gonzo, do you think that was our biggest win of the season so far? I'm not just talking about the fact we've come from 2 down. I'm talking about the pressure. There's been a lot of talk about West Ham since our win over Tottenham. People are starting to look at us and think, well, hang on a minute. There's a lot of talk about Martin Noble for England, not just for West Ham fans. Pundits are now getting involved. There's a lot of eyes on West Ham United now all of a sudden, I think. Going into that game, there's immense pressure on us, and I think people were expecting us to get beat. We've won. We've gone to a place that we haven't won since 2005. They've beat us. We haven't beat them in the last 15 league appearances. How big a win is that?
It's a huge win. We spoke in the week about it. It's almost was the pivotal game. I don't know if it's the best or most important win of the season. We don't know. It really is. It's a testament to how good the season, the team, and the management have been. That I would find it hard to Chelsea and Liverpool. I mean, there's lots of Arsenal away, lots of good games. But it's a tough fixture, as you say. Historically, a tough fixture. I think the fact that the pressure was on the what they say in cricket, scoreboard pressure, they call it in cricket. And I think in the terms of the Premier League, 1 point behind what is such an important place. And I think there was scoreboard pressure on us today, and none on Everton. They're in 11th. They're not going to go down. They're still in the cup. So I thought we handled that really, really well, and Bilic came up with tactically. So in the bigger scheme of things, I do think it is an incredibly important fixture. And if you almost dare not to dream as a West Ham fan.
Well, the top 4 is now in our hands. We sit on 49 points in 5th spot. We're 2 points behind Arsenal. Man U can overtake us. However, because we still have Man U and Arsenal to play, technically destiny is in our own hands for top 4 if we beat them, and every other game this season we will finish in the top 4. Ryan, we're now 49 points. Last season we finished the season on 47. We've still got 9 games to play. Just how good is the season, Ryan?
Well, as they say, be careful what you wish for, didn't they? When we got rid of Sam, but that's another argument in itself. The sky's the limit for us now because we're still in the FA Cup. We can easily get Europe now. I'm trying not to get too confident about it, but yes, the sky's the limit for us now.
Well, they say that our dreams fade and die, but this one doesn't seem to be fading and dying. We keep going. At the weekend, we have Man U in the FA Cup. We'll be back with our preview. Before I ask them the big question, Mr. Gonzo, you've got a T-shirt there.
I've got a T-shirt. I'm going to lift it up slightly. Okay, for those of you that didn't know, we were running a T-shirt competition. Okay, we're going to be drawing the winners later on. Later on in the week, at the start of next week. Those of you that are on Claret and Hugh and have emailed Hugh already, he'll be picking a name out of the hat. Subscribers to this channel are automatically entered into the hat. We've got 3 T-shirts to give away, by the way. These are very, very exclusive. I actually took this picture, gave it the arty-farty treatment, and as I say, if you ever see anyone else walking along with one of these, it's either me or one of the competition winners. And finally, for people that are on the forum, hammerschat.boards.net, if you've been on there and you've got involved in the thread, the T-shirt thread, then you are automatically entered, and I'll be getting my son to pick a name out of the hat on the forum for that.
Well, it's not just West Ham United do fantastic wins. There's going to be 6 of them as well getting their hands on that T-shirt. Big question for you in a wee minute. Mark Noble today, 250 appearances in the Premier League for West Ham. First West Ham player to ever do that. Massive well done to him. West Ham legend. My favourite player, as you can tell. Ryan, big question. Who was your man of match?
Ooh. You know what? It's a whole team performance. I can't choose one. It was like the whole team battled.
No, if you've got to, on talk a good game, you pick a man of match. Pick a man of match.
Come on. Payet, assisted one, scored one.
So did DF Osako, but we'll ignore that. Gonzo, your man of match, please.
It's funny. It's funny. I think we've probably done about 150 shows now. Yet it's always a surprise when you ask the man of the match, and I always hope that you ask the other person man of the match first. For me, I've now had sort of 30 seconds to think about it. It's Adrian. A really good save and a penalty save. We could, perhaps not should, but we could have been 4-0 down. So I'm going. There's more obvious candidates. I'm going for Adrian today.
I'm going for an even less candidate than that. This guy did nothing in terms of the overall score. However, when we were 2-0 down, I thought he was maybe the only player playing well, and that was Lanzini. I thought Lanzini was fantastic today. I really enjoyed watching him today. Even when we were 2-0 down, I still thought he was playing really well. And it's unfortunate. I would have liked to have seen him getting the goal at, but I thought he was brilliant. Like I said, we'll be back in the middle of next week with the preview, looking at West Ham's trip to Old Trafford in the FA Cup. Let's forget the league. Well, let's not. We're almost fourth, but we'll be putting the league to the side. Tuesday night, if you fancy coming to say hello to me and Gonzo, we'll be at Upton Park. West Ham ladies play Tottenham ladies. They have smashed their record attendance. They've sold more than treble the amount of tickets to beat their attendance. There's boxes open. The bar is open on the concourse. The food is open on the concourse. Everything is go. We at Hammers Chat will be doing the media side of it. So if you do see myself or Gonzo or Charlie, do come and say hello. We would like to meet as many of you as possible. But enough of that. Well, however, there is a big announcement coming from West Ham Legion. They have a very special guest doing the PA. Keep your eyes out for it's huge. He is huge. You will love it. And I think you might like to meet him as well. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for joining us. Ryan, thank you.
No worries, my pleasure.
Gonzo, thank you as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
And come chat with us on hammerschat.boards.net and read the match report on clattenhugh.info and keep up to date with all your team news. We've been Hammers Chat, we've been West Ham, and we can be in the Champions League.